This is a car park parable written by me. It's about a bunch of cars who usually come to church sitting out in the car park, and they're wondering what is going on in the church while they're sitting out there waiting in the sun. And this is a story called Follow Me, about one day when they get there and something strange happens. Oh, so I need the buttons. So this is a story called Follow Me, and Graham Preston did all the illustrations. He's a much better drawer than I am. Now, it might seem a very strange thing for a tractor to drive to church every Sunday morning. After all, tractors don't go very fast, and they don't like to go very far from home. But the truth is that Tony Tractor lives very close to the church in Westbrook, and so a Sunday morning trip isn't too bad. But one Sunday, Tony Tractor and his friends had to go further than ever before. Tony and the rest of the cars had only just arrived at the church and were settling in when old Mr. T started his engine. "What are you doing, Mr. T?" asked a curious Lin Sue. Old Mr. T had never started his engine during worship before. Old Mr. T smiled. Oh, I forgot to get you to do this. I'm going to get you guys to do this with me, so you'll see. Old Mr. T smiled and said, "Follow me." So do you think we can all do that? Every time we're going to have that. So old Mr. T smiled and said, "Follow me." With that, he jumped into gear and drove out of the church car park. Who thinks that would be a good Sunday to have one Sunday? Just come and go for a drive. There's no hands. I'm surprised, like, oh yeah. Muscles, the motorcycle, was struggling to get kick-started. "But where are we going, Mr. T?" he asked. Frida, the family car, was expecting visitors for lunch after church. "And when will we get back?" Old Mr. T winked a headlight and said, "Follow me." As the church faded into the background, look back there, Tony Tractor asked, "How far are we going, Mr. T? I'm not used to this." Hot-headed Harry didn't want to run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. "Oh, I haven't got much petrol," he said. Old Mr. T looked at them in his mirror and simply said, "Follow me." Impossible Izzy was loving the trip. "Oh, let's go faster," he said as he zoomed past Tony Tractor. "Don't go too fast, I can't keep up," Tony tooted. Izzy even overtook old Mr. T. "Faster, faster," he roared as he raced ahead of them. But old Mr. T turned a corner, and Izzy nearly got left behind. Old Mr. T shouted, "Follow me!" They came to a dip in the road filled with muddy water. "Oh, do we have to go this way?" Luxurious Lucy asked. Muscles, the motorcycle, thought about his rider. "Oh, my owner will get his feet wet." Old Mr. T waved his wipers and said, "Follow me." Next they came to a dark old tunnel. Frida almost stopped. "Oh, do we really need to go that way? I can't see anything." Tony Tractor agreed. "What if I hit my head on the roof?" Old Mr. T flashed his headlights and simply said, "Follow me." After the tunnel, the road turned to gravel and got very dusty. Luxurious Lucy slowed right down. "I've never driven off-road before." Hot-headed Harry slowed down as well. "Oh, I just had my bonnet polished." Old Mr. T flicked up some dust and said, "Follow me." The road started to go up a very steep hill. Lin Sue, the electric car, looked up. "I'm not sure I can make it up that hill." Trevor Truck agreed. "Oh, I'm too wide for such a narrow way. What if I slip over the edge?" Old Mr. T drove on slowly and said, "Follow me." Finally, the road opened up to a parking area overlooking a magnificent view. The cars forgot all about their troubles. "Wow, look at that," said Frida. "Can you believe all the colours? You can see all the way to the sea," exclaimed Lin Sue. Tony Tractor had a tear on his headlight. "I've never seen the ocean before." Luxurious Lucy was on top of the world. "Look at that eagle soaring below us." Even Impossible Izzy was impressed. "With all my years going off-road, I never knew this place existed." Old Mr. T smiled. Muscles the motorcycle thought for a bit. "What about worship, Mr. T? Aren't we missing out?" Old Mr. T looked out at the scene. "Does this look like missing out? The heavens declare the glory of the Lord." They all relaxed. And besides, today's journey has been a lesson in itself. Jesus called people to follow him, to trust him in life through the ups and downs, the dark times, and along the narrow way. When they did, they would follow him all the way to heaven. The cars gazed out at that wonderful sight. Ooh, this was pretty close to paradise. Suddenly a car started its engine. It was old Mr. T. He jumped into gear, drove out of the parking area and called, "Follow me!"